minus 18 tonight. We're in the dead of winter. It is minus 18, minus 26 with the wind chill. These are my honeybees, and this is how they stay warm. Let's see how the beekeeper stays warm. When it's this cold out, yeah, you've got to be prepared, that's for sure. So first thing is to make sure that your wood piles are nice and high. All right, let's go inside and give you a little tour. Ah! Hello, little pumpkin. So this little girl, she keeps me warm at night. You cuddle up and stay warm. So obviously, big thing is you need a wood stove, and you need something that is efficient, something that is going to keep you warm, and you need dry wood. Those are the obvious things. I'm going to tell you about other things though, and how I've insulated the cabin here, and what we do to stay toasty and cozy in the wintertime. Let's go through some of the obvious things. Insulation. This cabin, I insulated it with Rockwool for a couple of different reasons. It's a lot easier to work with than fiberglass. It's just messy. It's less messy. You know, you don't need gloves. You don't need a mask. You're not going to get itchy. It's also supposed to be rodent proof or rodent deterrent. I don't buy that because I left half a bag of Rockwool out in my shed for a year, and the mice were all in nesting in it comfortably, and they didn't seem to care at all. But the third thing is it's good for soundproofing. And I do some music recording up here, and also really just to, you know, keep sounds in and keep sounds out. So that's why I went with Rockwool. On the ceiling here, I've got some foam board. This is double layered foam board. Not sure what the R value of this was, but I've got two layers of it, and just still working on getting the paneling done up there. We're getting there. Gonna be doing some cross-country skiing hopefully later this year. But foam board, really easy to install. And let's talk about the flooring. Underneath the floor, I have got forget what it's called now, but it's basically, it is like a plywood with a foam underneath. So it has insulating factor. It's also good for waterproofing, but mainly it's just to keep that draft from coming in through the floor and through the ground below. And it works really well. This isn't radiant floor heating though, so you got to wear your slippers. And that's on the list too of keeping warm and comfortable, is you got to make sure you have good slippers. Hey buddy. A nice puppy to cuddle up with. Let's talk about the stove itself. This is one of the smallest wood stoves I could find. You know, a small footprint in here, and obviously I don't need anything big in this cabin, because you'll just, you know, you'll heat yourself out. But here's the thing, and here's what I would do differently. I would have got a bigger box and gone up in size, like, you know, taller as opposed to wider. The reason for that is because when it is a night like tonight and it's going down to minus 26, you know, you basically got to set your alarm and be restocking your wood probably about every 4 or 5 hours with this. That's what I would have changed, bigger firebox. Other than that, it's a very, very efficient wood stove. I love it. I'll put a link in the description, or at least put the name of this brand. Now, let's talk about lighting, because lighting makes a difference. Middle of winter, when it's dark, ambient lighting will just make everything feel warmer. So I actually just picked these lights up. Bought them from Amazon. I was pleasantly surprised. Really, really like them. You get a nice warm glow. I'll add some shots in here of the lights at night, how well they warm up the cabin. But I really like the pulley system, so I can raise and lower these as needed, and they just look kind of cool too, kind of like that old antique-y look. And same with my desk lamp here. It's kind of got that old grunge kind of punk style, I guess, steampunk style. Lighting, very important. If you're wondering why I'm like still got my hat on and stuff, I've been outside working, and so the wood stove is, you know, I've got it fired up now, but it is still cold in here. So that's it's usually a lot warmer, and I'm generally in a t-shirt and shorts in here because it's so friggin' warm. As another creature comfort in the wintertime, I'm going to suggest that you get a video projector. This thing is very, very low wattage. You can get these for like less than $100 now. Really, really enjoy chilling out and watching movies. And got the built-in screen right here, which is just a cheap window blind, and it just works perfectly as a movie screen. I don't know why you would spend hundreds of dollars on a screen, but maybe I'm just cheap that way. Most of my cooking is done, well, either on the barbecue, the wood stove, like, you know, almost 90% of it in the wintertime is on the wood stove. And then I've also got this little cheap little butane stove, which I have used for, got to be, well, 17 years old now. And use this little butane cartridges. There's one right there. And that is just out of simplicity. It's a single burner. And most of the time, a lot of time I'm up here alone. That's all I use. When I have company, I will, you know, like I said, I'll break out the barbecue. As far as keeping your food cold in the winter, you don't really need to use a fridge. You can just have a cooler and put it out on your doorstep or out in your car. But this is a 3-way fridge. It's so it runs on propane, 12 volt, and regular AC power. All right, here's another creature comfort, something to keep you warm in the winter. Good books. Just good books. You know, I got a small pile of them here. Maybe you're into Audibles. I don't do it as much as I should, but when I do, it's generally up here. I'm going to take the doggy out for a walk soon. Just catch a little bit of that late afternoon light. So another thing is painting. This mostly just gives me an excuse to show off my artwork. But whatever hobby you have that doesn't require power, this is the place to do it. So I love drawing and painting. Another thing that'll help with the warmth and coziness of the cabin is to get yourself some snow or some water and just leave a kettle of it on the wood stove. Make sure it doesn't boil out. But this keeps things nice and cozy and humidified in here. I'm also a musician, and one of the things I just love doing up here is recording and writing music. So whatever your hobbies are, the woods is a really fantastic place to do it, especially in the dead of winter. I'm going to talk about one more thing up here that is a convenience luxury item, I will say, especially during the winter. Paper plates. This is how I do my dishes up here. Something else I find super convenient up here is this little butane torch I found. Picked it up at Princess Auto. Really convenient for lighting fires. All right, get in, buddy. So I hope you found some of those things useful. It's always, you know, it's important to stay warm and comfortable and cozy up at your off-grid property in the dead of winter. Like and subscribe if you like. It's fun sharing these videos, and I'm going to be making some more very interesting off-grid content in 2025. Happy off-gridding. Hope you find some woods time of your own.